My name is Linda from Lindy-Lou Pottery. I live in northwest Tasmania here in Australia, and I thought I would do a video on my market that I just did on Sunday on the 26th of October. I did a video last week with on my markets. I think it was my first 6 markets and what I priced my pottery at, and my sales at the markets, how you have good days and slow days, and I just thought, well, I got really positive comments from that video, and I thought, well, you know what, I'll do one for the market just gone on Sunday, and if it helps someone out there, like with what my sales are, and they're not, you know, you have good days and and slower days, and then what I price my pottery at. And I thought this time I'll even show you my my best little sellers, because I think for me it's the little things that sell that can bring my beautiful customers back, and they buy then something a little bit more expensive. They might start at a little trinket, and then they take it home, and they love it, and then they might come back and buy a mug, and next thing they come and then maybe buy a swirl bowl or a bowl. So that's what I find is happening for me. So I thought I'll just share little things that I notice, and it might just help someone else out there. I'll start the video again with prices on my pottery. I did it last video and I might have left a couple of pieces off, so I'll just do it quickly again just in case it helps anyone. So I have my chip and dip, wavy chip and dips. I priced them at $85, and whenever I make them they sell. So $85 for my wavy chip and dip. Now my bowls here, I was selling them at $75, and I've just put them to $85, and they sold on Sunday. So these bowls here, I do a lot of them, and they're actually the same bowl as a swirl but without the cutout. So there, I put them to $85. Now my platter with dip all in one, I've got them at $75. I have sold a couple of these, and then others have been sitting for a while, but I think coming into Christmas and summer, I think they're going to be a bit of a winner. So I'll keep an eye on these, because I love making them, and I think they're really, really practical, like the huge amount of space to do your beautiful, your cheeses and your meats and olives, and like a really lovely size platter with the attached dip bowl. But I have sold a couple, but yeah, there's a couple that have been sitting there for a little while, but $75 for them. I'll do the big pieces, and then I'll get on to what I priced my smaller pieces at. So next, I'll just grab this. I've got my pedestal bowls, so either the large wavy or pedestal. I've got $90 on these, and it's funny because the customers that buy these, they just see them, I think, from a distance, walk over, pick them up, and they buy them. So it's something draws them, like the colours, the glaze, draws them to them. So I have sold quite a few, and $90 for these. So that's my most expensive piece, and they do sell. Okay, so that's that. I'll just grab my swirl bowl. Sorry, I've got the pieces all laid out. The swirl bowl, which one of my number one sellers is swirl bowls, and the bowl that's the same as a swirl. I call it a flat bowl, but a bowl. So $85 for my swirls. And in my videos, I've made a lot of swirl bowls, and currently I have only two swirl bowls, and I haven't counted how many I've made, but I have made a lot, and there's only 2 swirl bowls currently I've got left. And then the last big piece is my wavy bowls, and I sell them for 75. So that's my wavy bowl. Sometimes there's a rose in there or butterflies. I usually do some sort of into the clay, like roll a you know, one of the placemats and do like a pattern into the clay with my wavies usually. So they're 75. These ones are a bit slower. The other bowls fly off the table. These can hang around a little bit. I'm quite persistent with them just to see how they go over Christmas, because I just think they're a lovely bowl. And the other rose one sold straight away when I do a rose in there. But yeah, I'll keep an eye on these bowls because the other ones definitely sell better. Right, that's my large pieces. Now, silly, I didn't grab a mug or a whiskey tumbler, but my mugs, like I said last video, I'm trying to see if I got one. My mugs, I do $35 for one or two for 60 with my mugs, and my whiskey tumblers are just a flat $30. And on the weekend I did sell 3 whiskey tumblers, so that was good. And I only sold 2 mugs, which is unusual, really unusual, but I'll go through my sales in a minute. Now the other thing I'll show you my prices of is my smaller things. And what I do at each, people do comment on my table about I like getting some shelving or some sort of, you know, so different heights and layout. The reason I haven't is Gary, my husband, he helps me like set up my markets, but it's bowl season and he's a bowler. He plays lawn bowls. He's very good. He's in 1st division and he plays bowls. He's at veteran bowls today. So he does midweek bowls, Saturday comp bowls, and then practice through the nights, through the week. So he's right into bowls this time of year. So that's September to usually April. So I'm on my own at markets at the moment. And with my rheumatoid arthritis, less is best for me. So I keep it as simple as possible. And that's why you'll notice on my tables, they're just laid out. My pottery is just laid out on my tables, and I think it's just less for me to bring in and out of the car and set up and carry, and it works for me. So at the moment it works. Not saying that, you know, I might not introduce that later on, but right now it works for me. One thing I did notice yesterday, I went on to Vistaprint. That's where I order all my labels and my brochures and things, and I love using them. I love like the products that I have, all my labels and leaflets, and they had on there, so I might get a banner like just to put across the front of my tables just so you can see it from afar. And they had these tablecloths that had all in, like you put in your logo and your name, and I thought, oh my god, I'm going to get them. So that might dress my tables up a bit more. And so I've ordered 2 tablecloths that will have Lindy-Lou pottery on it and my logo, and I'm a bit excited to get them. So I'll definitely be showing you this, like what they look like on the table. But that's why my tables are pretty like plain. I just get my pottery on there, and it just makes it a bit easier for me, and you know it's working. So that's what I'm doing currently. Now on my tables, at one end you'll notice is I always do mugs at one end of I always have 2 6-foot tables, mugs at one end, and down the other end I'll do the other end of the second table, always my little pieces. So when I managed Big W stores, and we always followed Walmart in America, so Big W, if you know, well, I've been to America a few times, United States a few times, and I used to go into the Walmart stores, and all our Big W end caps and action also. The layout of our Big W stores we use Walmart as a guide. I don't work for Big W anymore. I'm going back to the 20 years ago. And what we used to do is at each corner of the store, we would have products that were everyday needs. An example would be, I think it was nappy sand in one corner. Another corner was like potting mix in the gardening section. Another corner kitchenware or homewares like your everyday coat hangers and another. So it was just basic needs. And they'd be located right at the end of the store, so our customers would have to walk through all the departments to get to that one basic need. And meanwhile, it was hoping then that they would shop the high price stuff. So those products at the corners of the store, we'd sell under cost, like that. You couldn't get them cheaper anywhere else. So that's what got your customers coming in. So the nappy set and the potting mix and the coat hangers, we would sell under what it even cost to buy. Now that then brought more sales into the store, if that makes sense. I hope you're trying to get what I'm saying. So everyone says, oh, you sell your little pieces too cheap. But you know what? My little trinkets I sell for $5, and they're handmade, hand painted, my little trinket hearts. And yeah, they are cheap, but customers buying, I love that customers can afford to buy anything, so I don't mind selling them at $5. And I found that they might start with a little trinket, but they'll come back for a mug, and then they'll come back for a swirl, and that's what I do. So they're my little trinkets at $5, and that is cheap, but that's okay. I call these little ice cream bowls, but they're just a cute little bowl. You can put your dips, nuts, yogurt, just everyday use. And I sell a lot of these. And these ones have got the little butterfly roller on them, or I can hand paint them. I'll do strawberries, cherries, or bumblebees, or hand paint them, or I can do like beautiful little jungle gems around celadon colors and all different things, anything on them. And I sell them for $15, and I sell a lot of them. And it is cheap, but they're not hard to make. And the other thing that's a winner, I sold 10 of these on Sunday, and these are my little spoon rests, which is the peony flower where I leave a petal down, so a little spoon rest, so $10. And I sell a lot of these, and customers love them, and I love selling them. And the other thing that's cheap, well priced I should say, is our little peony candles. And I sell it with the candle. I just get them from Kmart, a pack of, I think, a dozen. And with the candle, I'll sell them for $10. So they just, I sell a lot of them. So that's what I do. I have my little pieces that's affordable for anyone. And I love that. I love that they get some pottery. And they walk away really happy, and sometimes that's what brings them back next time. And I think, oh, I really love that, I'd love to get a mug, or then they go bigger pieces. So that's what I do. It's a little retail trick, but it's also because I love people getting my pottery as well. Now that was that, my sales on Sunday. Now it was quite amazing because we were this time located a little bit to the side, so not in the main hall, like in a bit of an annex to the side, which is like, oh dear, that's okay. And the stalls around us look quite quiet, and I've never heard so many comments from store holders that how it was a really quiet day for them. And we noticed that as well at the start. And then we ended up taking, I'll put my glasses on, $740. So for a quiet day, that was amazing. That was amazing for us. And I'll just go through what we sold. So unbelievably, I only sold 2 mugs. So I'm not sure. On good days, I sell up to 30 mugs. So 2 mugs is pretty light. But to still do $740, amazing. Sold 3 whiskey tumblers, so they're at $30. So that was good. 1 swirl bowl, and I had 3 on the table. Sometimes I think the more you have of something, the more you sell. But anyway, I had 3. So sold 1 swirl, but I did sell 3 of the other bowls at $85. Which is the same bowl as a swirl, but just the bowl. So that was amazing. And my beautiful petal bowl, that only come out of the kiln on Saturday, and it was shaped, cut out like a flower, and it had the ancient copper with the sapphire float the inside on the flower. So that sold at $85, sold very quickly. So I really want to do more of them. So that was lovely. 10 spoon rests at $10. So there's your $100. So even though they're cheap, they're great. And I sold 5 ice cream bowls at $15. So that's really good. Sold some candles. Just seeing what I've sold, some little heart trinkets. And oh yeah, that's it. All the spoon rests there. Pretty much went through everything else. Yeah, it's $740. So it was a good day, and I guess I'm just sharing in case it helps someone else on pricing, or they think, oh, you know, you're selling something too cheap. But sometimes that's a good thing, because it gets your customers, you know, to be able to afford a piece of your pottery, and that's lovely. And they will come back and maybe buy your mug or your bigger pieces. And I find that's working for me. So if that information helps anyone, that's fantastic. I think that's all I've got to review for Sunday. And it's quite lovely at the moment. So I had 3 markets in October. November, I've got 2, so can catch up. And I'm doing some glazing today, so I'll have a kiln opening tomorrow. And the next market isn't till Sunday week, and then Saturday week, and then the following fortnight on a Sunday. So 2 this month, so I'll be able to catch up and do get some more stock there. I think that's it. So hopefully that helps, or you know, if it helps anyone there getting ready for their market, and anything I do is some information that makes me happy. So thank you so much for watching, and I really hope you have the best day ever. Thank you so much. Bye bye.